Hey everyone, it's Kirsten Eva again with Culture Mother. This video is to show you how to make a loaf of sourdough bread. Now that you guys have all seen how to care for your sourdough starter, I'm going to show you how I make bread. There is no right or wrong way. There are going to be so many different methods to this. This is what I do. This is my my go-to loaf of bread. It's an artisan loaf with a nice crispy crust. This is what I do with my bread. So first I want to show you the drop test method. It's how to know whether your sourdough starter is ready to use. Now I use mine. Mine I fed last night at around, I believe, 10 p.m. and it is ready to go, but I'm going to show you here anyway. So I have a cup of water and this sourdough starter that bubbled over in that last video I posted. It's just been still sitting here. So there's a lot of stuff going on this countertop right now. All you do when you think that your starter, when it's doubled in size after you've fed it, you take a spoonful of starter. Doesn't have to be a big spoonful, and you drop it in some water, and if it floats, it's ready to use. If it sinks, it's not ready. So mine's floating. See? So this starter's ready to use. So then we can go ahead and make our dough that will then rise. I like to rise mine from anywhere from 8 to 15 hours. My house sits at about 18 or 19 degrees. I usually rise it overnight. Now, the timing of this one is a little weird because it's the middle of the afternoon. So I'm going to let it rise probably until I go to bed. And then I'm going to pop it in the fridge. And then tomorrow I will pull it out and shape it and bake it. And maybe I'll make a video and you guys can come along for that ride. We'll see. So, the recipe that I use makes 2 loaves of bread. I will post in the comments of this, or in the caption of this, what I use. Let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. It's 35 ounces of flour. I use white flour. Sometimes I put in some whole wheat flour. You can play around with the flours. But I use a digital scale because it's more accurate. So 35 ounces of flour, 17 ounces of water, 0.7 ounce of salt, sea salt, 1.8 ounce of olive oil, and then I put 11 ounces of sourdough starter that's ready in. So my method is, okay, I use a KitchenAid. I don't hand knead it. The odd time I will. But usually I'm making more than 1 loaf of bread. Again, this recipe makes 2 loaves of bread. It makes 2 2-pound loaves. So I use a KitchenAid mixer. So I will first weigh out my flour, pop it in there, and then I mix all of my other ingredients together, and then I mix it into a dough. I'm just going to pause this video and do all that because there's really no point in you seeing that. Anyway, see you in a minute. Alright, so our dough is ready, or is mixed. I only mix mine or knead mine until all the ingredients are combined, until the side of the bowl is wiped clean. The dough, I'll show you the dough here. The dough is not sticky, it's not sticking to me, and it would hold its shape, and it's cleaned the inside of the bowl. So this is enough, like I said, for 2 loaves. There are many recipes that are going to tell you that you need to now every 20 minutes knead it, or do a stretch and fold or whatever. I don't. I need ease. I need to be able to mix all my ingredients together and forget about it overnight or for many hours and then just bake a loaf of bread. So I don't do anything like that. I don't wait to add my salt. I don't wait to add my starter. I just add everything together, and this works for me every single time. So I use ice cream pails. Again, ease. So for me, this recipe that is for 2 loaves of bread fits in an ice cream pail. And when it's fermented enough, so I just put it in this ice cream pail. Also, a little trick was this ice cream pail is what I used to weigh my flour. So it's already dusted in flour from when I did that. So now I'm just putting it back in here, put the lid on. But the cool thing about this is you'll know when it's ready to bake because it will have risen so much that the lid bursts off. It'll just pop off. So it kind of like I wake up in the morning and it's either looks like it's gonna burst or the lid is popped off, and that's when I know like it's good and ready to be used. That's again with 2 loaves of bread. You can use a bowl, but I do recommend like putting like saran wrap and a towel over it because otherwise it will dry out. I just like the convenience of this. So this I'm going to now leave on my counter until it has doubled in size at least, and then I'll bake. What else can I tell you? I know that some people had some questions about different flours. With our Italian sourdough starter or even our spelt, you can pretty well use any kind of flours. I prefer just all white because I have children and that's really all they want too. I will sneak in some whole wheat in there sometimes. Also, I haven't had much opportunity for other different types of flours locally, but you can play around with anything and all. You can add seeds and oatmeal and whatever you want to it. If you want to add herbs and cheese or raisins and cinnamon and all those things, you're going to do this after the bulk fermentation. So after this rises and you're ready to bake, you're going to take this out, you're going to split it into 2, and you're going to shape your loaves. Now these loaves will hold up their own shape. You can, if you would like, use a bowl, or this is like a proofing bowl. You flour it really heavily and you put it in there and you put a cloth over it. And then you let it rise for an additional 30 to 60 minutes before you bake it in the oven. So I time mine like I shape my loaf and leave it out on the counter on the pan that I'll be baking it in, or in the container I'm baking it in, or this. And then this gets flipped over onto the pan to hold its shape. And I'll set a timer for 30 minutes. And then when that timer's up, I will start preheating my oven to 450. And then when my oven is good and preheated, I give it at least 15 to 20 minutes. Then I will score my bread and bake it. So just to give yourself an idea, you'll probably start the baking process an hour after you shape your loaves. The loaves get baked for 1 hour. First 20 minutes is at 450. Usually with a little cup of water in there to create humidity, or if you're in your container, I use a cast iron like casserole dish, something with a lid that will keep the humidity in as well. You can, I just use like a little glass baking dish with water in it, and after that first 20 minutes, I reduce the heat to 400 and I take the water out and I cook an additional 40 minutes. Of course, before you put it in the oven, you're going to want to score your bread, which is just making some cuts on the top so that when it rises, it has somewhere for the steam to escape from, and it makes pretty designs and makes for a nice looking loaf of bread. So I will, tomorrow when I go to bake bread, I'll make a quick video on my scoring technique and baking, but it's pretty straightforward. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask here or in messages. You can also email us at culturemother@sasktel.net. I hope you have fun baking. Please don't hesitate to contact at all, and if I've missed anything here, I'll probably put it in the comments when I figure it out, or when you guys show me that I might have missed something. So anyway, hope you all are staying safe and enjoying your time together. Bye.